Hey everybody, it's Murgle, and in this one, boy, we gonna stir up some things, but I'd like to talk to you about how I feel on recent changes, and how I think it's a bad route to follow. I know plenty of people will disagree with me, but I ask honestly, listen to everything before you click on the comment box, and just start chewing me out. Anyways, let's get into it. So, let's open up Pandora's box. I feel like we have finally entered a realm on World of Warcraft where those memes about it being pay-to-win are actually quite true. Now let me explain. When a game enters a fundamental point where going out and working a minimum wage job is more efficient than playing the game itself, I feel like something has truly gone wrong. I'd be fine if the two were synonymous of one another, right? As in, if you played hardcore, you could obtain equal results, or if you decided to pay just to have the convenience, the time invested, right, would be about the same. But it has finally reached a point where there is no option. You can either play for 20 to 25 hours, or you could work a minimum wage job for 10 hours. This is, of course, for leveling. At this time, it's actually better for you to not play the game, go fill out a random job app, work a few hours, and buy a boost. And this bothers me, right? It really does, because if myself, a neckbeard, no-life nerd, can't beat a 15-year-old with a part-time job to level cap, something wrong with the game. Would you not agree? Can you agree with that statement? If something's got to be wrong at this point. Anyways, let's keep going. I'm not mad they removed the Recruit a Friend boost. I guess maybe I might have gave that impression. I'm not mad they removed it. I will wholly agree that Recruit a Friend was never used for the right reasonings. I would agree to that. I'm not upset that it was nerfed. I'm disturbed because every method of power leveling has since been removed. And there's really no excuse Blizzard could present to me that would make sense for the justification of the removal of all of them. Allied races were never going to work with Recruit a Friend anyways. That was already stated. So it doesn't matter. The experience potions could have easily been coded to not be usable on allied races. Again, something that could be very simple. Besides, their hefty cost, right? People act like using the boost potions was just easy peasy. They were expensive. It was merely a fun commodity for leveling. It really wasn't efficient by any means. If you took all the time you used collecting potions to level up, all the time it took you to either buy whatever you were doing, just to use to level one character, all that extra time wasn't ever efficient. You could have easily just leveled up in the time it took you to get all the potions. It was because it was fun. People enjoyed pushing themselves, and many people who don't want to level slower have already seen everything the WoW storyline has to offer at this point. Doing it slower doesn't really add to the experience by any means, which I think most people would agree that they are fine with the changes. I think the changes are pretty good. I don't see the benefit of making it slower for people who choose to level faster. And keep in mind, I already have max level characters. I don't care. It has no effect on me. It's just, this is it, right? Offering routes to increase your experience exponentially would help in the sense that it would allow people of both groups to enjoy what they want. You could level fast, or you could choose not to. However, what I really can't understand is some of you out there act like it personally offends you that someone else wants to play the game differently, right? Because they'd rather just zerg through content, it disturbs you to your very core, because that's what I've read pretty much. It bothers you to your absolute inner being that somebody else out there doesn't want to do the content, they just want to zerg right through it. And a perfect example of something like this happening, right? A perfect example is, I do videos about all the micro holidays, right? I cover them, you know. I'm a video maker. Gotta cover the new stuff. That's what it's all about, right? So I cover micro holidays. And I made a comment in one of the micro holidays videos saying, if I wasn't making videos to show you what these holidays are, I honestly wouldn't even do them because I think it's a complete waste of time. I said that because I wouldn't do it. I find it to be a complete waste of time. Personal opinion. Nothing wrong with other people out there enjoying it. I just find it to be a waste of time. And when I said that, a lot of people got triggered at me for not enjoying micro holidays. Like I should be forced to enjoy that content, even though I don't care for it, right? And what I'm saying is, not everyone has to like the same kind of content. There should be an option for everyone, though, right? You shouldn't be forced into one style of content. And there should be an option in-game for leveling fast. You shouldn't feel compelled. People are like, if you don't want to level, just go buy a boost. That's what the people defending these changes are saying. You shouldn't feel compelled to buy a boost. You should have options in the game that allow you to make this fun and enticing. Because recently the route of content, the way I feel, it hasn't been, what can we do to make this really fun and make our players want to do it? It's been, what can we do to force players into either paying or playing longer? Did you know one of the main metrics that Blizzard presents to their shareholders is how long players are logged into the game? And they recently crushed this record. It was by a couple minutes. I mean, it was a substantial amount, and it doesn't sound like a lot, but in terms of how big of a deal it was a large amount. And they crushed it recently, roughly around the time at the beginning of Legion, when everyone was no-life grinding artifact powered. Because the only way you wanted to be competitive is if you had 35 points in your weapon. So pretty much the same deal with leveling now. So now leveling is either we can force you to play for a substantial amount of time longer, or you can fork over 4 months of sub time immediately. Boom, there's your instant levels. And it bothers me because, you know that South Park episode where they're singing, I'm a little bit country, well, I'm a little bit rock and roll, and they say the line like, let the flag for hypocrisy fly high from every pole. That's basically what Blizzard's doing right now. Blizzard claims all these changes are purely because they really want you to experience the story and level. But as long as you're willing to pay, you can skip all that if you really want to. As long as the leveling boost still exists, I find it completely hypocritical of all their statements, every single one of them. If they remove the leveling boost, like completely take it out of the game, I would shut up. I would completely shut my mouth, because it would mean that they are holding to what they say. They really care about the integrity of the game, not the amount of money they can squeeze out of players, you know? If they remove the leveling boost, I take back everything I said. I would say, you know what, you're right. This is actually because they care about the game and they want it to go down this route. I would completely agree. But as long as it exists, I can't say that, right? Now, I've spoken about leveling for a while, but let's talk about more pay-to-win scenarios. And I'd agree that with the introduction of the WoW token, it's also enforcing the precedent of pay-to-win. Because you can literally purchase anything in-game with gold. No joke about that. Everything is available for purchase in-game with gold. There are people out there who would carry you to kill Argus Mythic right now. Right now, you could do it. You could get Gladiator carries for gold, and you could buy Hero of the Alliance. Arguably, some of the hardest achievements in each of their categories. Obviously, Argus Mythic is the hardest PVM you could do right now. Gladiator, very high PvP arena rating. And Hero of the Alliance is Raid of Battlegrounds top, possibilities. You could pay for those things all right now for gold. Mind you, they cost exorbitant amounts of gold. I'm not denying that their prices are... It's expensive, right? It is very expensive. But the problem is, Blizzard has stated, we don't want you getting carried if it involves real money. So you're not allowed to pay for these things unless you decide to pay for them with gold. And if you're forced into doing it for gold, that means Blizzard is likely going to make a profit, because you're probably going to buy tokens to get those carries with gold. You know what I mean? It's just another thing on their part that shows that they're fine with you basically buying your way to the top, as long as it's through them by some means. Because you can also pay, so you could buy a boost, and then you could buy a token with gold and pay for power leveling. There's lots of people out there that power level you through dungeons for gold. So technically you can buy a 110 with money. You don't even need to, you could buy a 100 boost and then a 110 with money, because you just pay with gold for the power leveling. You know what I mean? They carry you through dungeons, bam, you're max level in a couple hours. So yeah, I'm making this as a joke, right? But in the services tab, you know, probably soon enough, you're going to be seeing boost arena rating by 100 points for only $40. And that's how I feel. I don't hate WoW. A lot of people say I hate WoW because anytime I make something criticizing what I believe to be a questionable decision on their behalf, people say, man, maybe you should quit. I don't think you're into the game anymore. And it's actually quite the contrary. I'm 100% into the game. I care for the health of the game, and I think that setting a precedent that pay-to-win is okay is never healthy for any game, and is usually the inevitable downslope of that game. Anyways, I don't want that, and I would hope you don't either. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you again real soon. Bye-bye.